Stop scrolling, because what I'm about to say could change how you see eternity. In a place beyond time, where silence feels heavier than any sound on earth, a soul suddenly finds itself standing in what seems like a cosmic courtroom, surrounded by an overwhelming presence that cannot be described in human terms. There are no walls, yet everything feels contained. No light source, yet everything is seen. A voice, calm but absolute, fills the space. You are here for the final question. The soul trembles, not from fear alone, but from the weight of being fully known. Across from it, a presence identified as the judge remains unseen, yet undeniable, while an ancient record, the Book of Life, is slowly opened by a silent messenger. The atmosphere shifts as if reality itself is listening. Then the question is spoken, not loudly, but in a way that penetrates every thought. What justifies your existence before eternity? The soul instinctively prepares to answer, drawing from everything it once believed was right. But in that moment, there is a strange pause, as if the entire universe is waiting to hear what humanity has always assumed to be correct and whether it ever truly was. In that suspended silence, the soul begins to speak, its voice uncertain but filled with everything it once trusted on earth, saying that it lived a good life, followed moral principles, helped others when it could, and tried to remain honest in a world full of confusion. The words feel familiar, almost comforting, as if they should be enough to resolve the weight of the moment. Across the unseen courtroom, the presence of the judge does not respond immediately, and the silence grows deeper, as though time itself is holding its breath. Then, slowly, the ancient messenger known as the Keeper of the Book of Life turns a single page, and the sound echoes like a distant thunder not heard but felt within thought itself. The record does not glow, does not confirm, does not react. Instead, it remains still. The soul continues, now more confident, repeating what it has heard most of its life, that sincerity and effort should be enough. But something begins to shift in the atmosphere, subtle at first, like a light dimming beyond perception. The surrounding presence of countless unseen witnesses feels heavier, as if waiting for a conclusion that will not match expectation. Then, for the first time, a soft interruption enters the silence, not harsh but absolute, suggesting that what is commonly believed on earth may not align with what is recorded here. And in that moment, the certainty of the soul begins to fracture without a single force being shown, only truth approaching from beyond understanding. The silence in the cosmic courtroom begins to shift as the unseen presence finally allows the next layer of truth to unfold, and the soul realizes that its answer has not yet been accepted nor rejected, only held in suspension as if reality itself is waiting for something deeper. Then the voice of the judge returns, calm and absolute, asking a question that feels older than time itself. What do you believe determines whether a soul belongs in eternal light or eternal separation? In that instant, the atmosphere reacts, and countless other souls present in the unseen vastness begin to respond almost instinctively, as if repeating what they have carried from their lives on earth. Some speak of kindness, others speak of personal sacrifice, and many believe that sincerity and effort define their worth. The answers overlap, forming a collective confidence that feels familiar and comforting, yet beneath it there is a subtle tension that no one can fully explain. The Book of Life remains still, showing no confirmation, no approval, and no reflection of certainty. The silence grows heavier, not because of fear, but because of expectation that is slowly beginning to fracture. The presence of the judge does not interrupt, allowing every answer to settle completely, as if measuring not the words themselves, but the foundation behind them. And in that quiet pause, something begins to emerge that none of the souls anticipated, a realization that what is widely accepted as truth may only be a shadow of a far greater reality that is about to be revealed. As the tension deepens within the silent cosmic courtroom, the collective confidence of the gathered souls begins to feel less certain, as if the very foundation of their understanding is being gently but unmistakably examined. The judge remains unseen, yet every presence in the vast space feels fully observed, not through sight, but through absolute awareness. Then the voice returns once more, calm and unchanging, asking a question that shifts the atmosphere entirely. whether the answers given are truly original understanding or merely inherited belief repeated over a lifetime. At that moment, a subtle ripple moves through the gathered souls, as individuals begin to realize that much of what they relied on came not from direct truth, but from assumptions passed down through generations. The Book of Life, still open, shows no reaction to confidence, no change in response to certainty, and no recognition of emotional conviction alone. Instead, it reflects only stillness, as if waiting for something deeper than intention or sincerity. A few souls attempt to reinforce their answers, speaking again about effort, morality, and personal righteousness, yet their words seem to fade into the vast silence rather than anchor within it. The environment itself feels increasingly unfamiliar, as though the rules of understanding are different here than anything experienced in life before. And in this growing uncertainty, a quiet realization begins to form. That certainty built on assumption may not survive the presence of absolute truth, which is now slowly, inevitably drawing closer. In the growing stillness of the cosmic courtroom, the collective uncertainty reaches a point where even the smallest thought feels exposed to something far greater than comprehension, as if every belief is now being weighed not by emotion, but by an unchanging standard beyond human experience. The unseen judge does not move, yet the awareness of presence becomes stronger, and the silence itself begins to feel like an answer forming slowly in the background of reality. Then, without warning, a shift occurs in the atmosphere of understanding, as the earlier confidence of the gathered souls begins to collapse under its own weight, not through rejection, but through simple lack of recognition. Many who once spoke with certainty now fall silent, realizing that repetition of what was taught is not the same as knowing what is true. The Book of Life remains open, unchanged, revealing no reaction to sincerity alone, no response to emotional conviction, and no confirmation of widely accepted belief. A deeper tension rises as the question behind all questions becomes clearer, suggesting that the standard being applied here is not based on comparison between human actions, but on something far more absolute. In that realization, the confidence that once filled the space dissolves into quiet reflection, as souls begin to understand that what they trusted most may not be the foundation they assumed it was, and the courtroom remains suspended in a silence that feels like it is preparing to reveal something irreversible. In the profound silence that now fills the cosmic courtroom, the atmosphere feels as though it has crossed an invisible threshold where every thought is no longer merely spoken but fully revealed, leaving no space for assumption or illusion. The unseen judge remains present beyond perception, and yet every soul senses that attention is no longer divided but perfectly focused, as if the entire weight of existence has narrowed into this single moment of understanding. Then, the shift becomes undeniable as the previous answers, once spoken with confidence, begin to lose all meaning in the presence of something absolute that cannot be influenced by emotion or repetition. The Book of Life remains unchanged, not reflecting approval nor rejection, but instead holding a stillness that feels more final than any response could ever be. In that stillness, a deeper realization begins to surface among the gathered souls, not as a spoken message, but as an unavoidable awareness that what they assumed to be enough may never have been sufficient in the first place. The confidence that once filled the space has now transformed into quiet reflection, and even that reflection begins to feel fragile under the weight of an unseen truth drawing closer. There is no movement, no interruption, only the growing sense that what is about to be revealed cannot be compared to anything previously understood, and that every moment leading here has only been preparation for a truth that now stands at the edge of being fully known. In the infinite stillness of the cosmic courtroom, the sense of finality begins to intensify, as though every layer of misunderstanding is being gently stripped away without force or interruption. The unseen judge remains beyond form, yet the presence feels closer than ever, as if awareness itself has become the only reality left. Then, without warning, the atmosphere shifts into something unmistakably decisive, not through sound or movement, but through absolute clarity entering every soul at once. The previous answers, once spoken with confidence, no longer hold weight in this space, not because they were rejected in anger, but because they simply do not align with what is now being revealed. The book of life remains open, unchanged in appearance, yet its silence now feels like a confirmation of something far deeper than words could express. A profound truth begins to surface, not as a new idea, but as a realization that has always existed beyond human assumption. The judge finally speaks, and every soul feels the words not as sound, but as complete